happy Thursday. Good morning, good almost afternoon. If you are watching live, please let me know. Say hello in the comments. Really excited for year 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas. Did this last year, got a ton of positive feedback. These are short, impactful, to the point trainings. I will be going live at 11 a.m. Eastern in this group every day, every weekday from now until Friday, December 20th, with a brand new topic, an action step for you to implement afterwards, and also a free giveaway at the end of each one of these. So really excited. Good morning, Miss Smith. Nice to see you on here. And we are going to dive right in, and we're kicking it off with some AI. We are talking about how to use AI to help you create your SOPs and your playbook. So I'd love to know in the chat and in the comments, and there is like a slight delay with these live videos, but if you are leveraging AI in your day-to-day, whether that's Chat GPT, whether you're using chat bots, whether you're using AI to create video links, just let me know in the comments. Are you using AI in your day-to-day? Ms. Jilly, I see your question. Is there a Zoom link? No Zoom link. This is just a Facebook Live, trying to keep it, just super simple for you guys. Mr. Miller says, yes, he is. That is great to hear, sir. I would think all of us, no matter really where you're at in your entrepreneurial journey, you probably have some systems and processes, SOPs, or what I like to call playbooks, that need to get out of your head and down on paper somewhere. I know that this has always been a labor of love. It's not really a box you ever just get to check off and say, okay, we're never going to have to update another SOP or playbook. We're never going to have to create another SOP or playbook. It's an ongoing thing that we have to do in our business if we want to scale, and really if we want to delegate, and we want to delegate with confidence. That's the big one, right? Because I think all of us want to take some things off of our plate, but we don't feel confident in doing so because we don't have a playbook for our team to be able to implement and run with. And one of the big mistakes that we made is, at first we kind of took everything out of our head and put it down on paper, but it wasn't really organized in a fashion for onboarding new hires. It took a lot of time to create them. Some would be on the laptop, some would be in a Google Drive, some would be printed on the front desk. And, when ChatGPT came on the scene, I really wanted to learn, like, how can we leverage this just to be more efficient in our day-to-day? And I think all of us would agree there are some more SOPs and playbooks we do have to create. And my hope today is just to be able to teach you a very simple process in order to build these out so that it doesn't take as long, and you can really just start banging out playbook after playbook. And it's kind of one of those things, like, once you get a couple of them done, you're just going to want to continue to do it over and over again. When we really went all in on this playbook process, I had a little Post-it note on my monitor that said DRY, do not repeat yourself. And it's a term that comes from the SaaS industry, the coding industry. And it was just a reminder that if I was doing something that would have to get done eventually again, or something I would want to delegate, that I don't want to have to repeat myself. So let's get it in a playbook. So we are going to talk a little bit about the struggles, the basics of ChatGPT, some favorite use cases, and then how to use ChatGPT to really be able to create playbooks very, very quickly. So what is a playbook? It's just the way that you are documenting your systems and processes. And I know when I started hiring, I had a lot of struggles with particularly the onboarding aspect of bringing on a new hire, because I didn't have an organized way to teach them everything that we do in our facility. I mean, if you even think of just like opening up the school or closing the school, there are so many different steps and things that we want done, and you probably want it done in a very specific way. And we need this ability to replicate ourselves, to replicate our team members if we really want to scale and grow. And if you don't have playbooks, it makes it very difficult and frustrating when you are hiring, onboarding, and training. And what will ultimately happen is that you are going to be the one that has to be side by side in training the person. Now, I'm not saying playbooks should completely eliminate any type of human interaction, but they absolutely will make the process of hiring, onboarding, and training a lot easier. And it's just very difficult to scale them. And I have seen a lot of different structures for playbooks, and the one that I'm going to share with you is the one that we landed on that has helped us literally create hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these playbooks as our team started to get bigger. So for those of you that aren't, I'm seeing a lot of comments like, yes, I am using ChatGPT. It's an AI language model, and basically when you log in, and it's completely free, they do have a $20 a month kind of upsell, which gives you just a faster and better Chat GPT. But I started using this really just like how I would use Google. And when I sit down at my laptop and I'm first getting ready to work, it's literally the second tab that I open, and I have it up on my screen all day. I mean, I've only been working for, a couple of hours just today, and I've already used it multiple times. And what I absolutely love about it is that it saves your conversation, that you can train it on your business. You can even create custom GPTs, which that's maybe another training we can do in the future, but it's literally like having a personal assistant. So I'm really glad to see some of you are using it. For those of you that aren't, this really should become part of your day-to-day. You can use it for ideation, coming up with just new ideas, content creation. One of my favorite use cases for it is navigating difficult conversations. If you know you have to have a difficult conversation, maybe with a team member, and you want to have it in the most empathetic way possible. I love using it for math formulas and really comparing spreadsheets. So like you could download all of your financials and traffic KPIs from 2023, download it all from 2024, upload both of those spreadsheets into ChatGPT and ask it to do a compare and contrast, and ask it to provide you with advice on, what it's seeing. We use it for event planning, for team management, and ultimately also for creating these playbooks. So this is what the playbook template looks like. And this is the structure that we use for all of our playbooks. And again, when I say playbook, you can use that interchangeably with SOP. And this is what we've landed on as a structure that is really helpful no matter where an employee is in their journey with you, whether they're first getting started, whether maybe they've been there for a little bit, or even if they're a seasoned vet on your team. This playbook will work really, really well. So there's 4 aspects to the playbook. You have a context table at the top. You have a camcorder method, you have course documentation, and then you have a checklist. And I love alliteration, so it is 4 C's. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of break down each part of these individual sections so you understand what's going on. So at the top here with the context table, this is where we put the process name. And when you name one of your processes, it's so important. Language is so important that everybody on the team is using that same language. So really think about like, what is this specific process called? You're then going to put the date that you created it, the frequency of how often is this occurring, right? If this is a playbook on how to clean the academy, well, maybe this is happening once a day or maybe even twice a day. If this is a playbook on how to run a ninja Nerf night, parent night out, well, the frequency of that may be 2 or 3 times a year you do that particular theme, right? And then you're going to give it the context, which is, why is this important? People need to understand why the work they are doing is important. On the other side of the table, we have the owner and the reference number. So the owner is the department that it lives in. So maybe that's your on the mat staff, maybe it's your off the mat staff. Maybe if you're starting to build out like HR and finance processes, it's HR and finance. If this is your enrollment process, maybe you put that under sales, or maybe you put it under program director. Doesn't matter how you categorize it. Just make sure that you're consistent across the board. And then we give it a reference number. And the reference number is actually really helpful for when you want to create a library of where all of these playbooks live. And if you have questions as I'm going on, feel free to drop them in the comments. I am monitoring them, and I'll do the best job that I can get to answering them. If you update the playbook, which will more than likely happen, you're just going to put the date that you updated it. And this one I love, the time estimate. So how long should it take? And obviously, when somebody is first starting to learn a new process, it's going to take them a little bit longer because they're just getting started. But if you know the ideal amount of time for somebody to, let's say, clean the academy should be 40 minutes, or maybe you have a larger academy and it's 60 minutes, or maybe it's 25 minutes. You put the estimated time that you want them to aim to complete that task, okay? Let's use another example. Maybe you have a playbook on how to create a newsletter. Maybe you put out a newsletter every month with all of the events that are going on, and that should take about 30 minutes. And then finally, you're going to put the tools needed. So what tools does the person need in order to be able to accomplish everything in this playbook? So if this playbook is on cleaning, well, what are all the cleaning supplies? If this playbook is on creating a newsletter, well, are they going to need access to Canva? Are they going to need access to your Google Calendar? Whatever they need in order to be successful, you're going to put that in the top, okay? So that's the content table right at the top. And it's just kind of like an overview of what the playbook is on. The next part is the camcorder method. And this is basically a video link. And depending on if the work that the person is doing is on a computer, if that's the case, I like using something called Loom, LOOM.com. It's a freemium tool. You could even use Zoom, and you can record yourself sharing the screen and talking and walking through it. And then you can put the video link inside of there. If this is something like cleaning the bathroom, you can literally grab your phone and film yourself or somebody else cleaning the bathroom the exact way you want it to be cleaned, right? Do you want the toilet to be cleaned behind the toilet, right? Probably so. Do you want under the sink dusted off? So you actually have a video on how it's supposed to be done, okay? And we just put the video link in there. The next part is the course documentation, and this is every single little step. Somebody should be able to go through every step and every bullet point, sub-bullet point, sub-bullet point, and just through reading this, they should be able to implement what is in the playbook. So it's every single step. And then finally, we have the checklist. And this checklist is just, how do I know that this was completed properly? So what we do is we take these high-level steps, so like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and we just put it in a question format. Has this been completed yet? And what's so great about this is if you have a new hire, more than likely they're going to have to watch the video first. Then they're going to have to go through the course step by step by step. And then they can double check their work by going through the checklist. But let's say you have somebody that's been on the team for a while, and maybe you have a process like the holiday event, for example. I know a lot of our Maya and CMA families have their holiday event this Saturday. Best of luck to all of you. But a holiday event is something we kind of only do once a year, right? So maybe it's like, all right, I've done this a ton of times, but I just need to make sure that those high-level steps are done. And now your seasoned team member can go into the playbook, look at the checklist, and just go through. It's like, okay, we ordered the flyers, we started booking appointments, or whatever those step-by-steps are, okay? So this is the overall framework of the playbook. And again, if you have questions, feel free to drop it in the chat, okay? I have tested a lot of different structures. This is by far my favorite, okay? So we talked a little bit about Loom. It is a freemium tool, and what it does is it records your screen. And the reason why I prefer Loom and Zoom, if you have AI companion turn on, you can transcribe it, but it's just so easy inside of Loom, which is why I prefer Loom for this. But it has a transcription feature in there. So after you shoot a video, you can actually grab the transcription from that video. And we want the transcription because we're going to use that to help us create the playbook inside of ChatGPT. So I'm going to upload these keynotes. You guys are going to get access to all of this. So if you want to take screenshots, feel free, but you will get access to this. But I want to walk you through exactly how to create the playbook. And this is the exact prompt that you will put inside of ChatGPT after you've filmed the video, and it's going to spit out the playbook in about 30 seconds for you. So I'm really excited to share this with you. It's probably one of my favorite ninja hacks that we've implemented. So we're going to go inside of ChatGPT, and we're going to tell it these bullet points right here on the right-hand side is the prompt. And then you can see on the left-hand side over here, I actually put it in ChatGPT and took a screenshot so you can see the reply. So we're going to go in ChatGPT. We're going to say, I'm going to give you information about internal SOPs and processes for, and you're going to put the name of your company. And this is one of my favorite aspects of the prompt, which says, note and acknowledge, do not respond, wait for further instructions. And when you tell ChatGPT to do that, to note and acknowledge, do not respond, wait for further instructions, you are teaching it, okay? Then, as you can see, it responds, noted and acknowledged, I'll wait for further instructions. So it's listening well. Then we're going to say, I'm going to provide a video transcript from the video walkthrough I made. Again, noted and acknowledged, do not respond, wait for further instructions. Okay, so we're priming it up with these prompts. Then we're going to go over to Loom, and this is the video here. And as you can see in Loom, there's this little transcript button. And we just click the transcript button and it transcribes the entire video for us. And it does it instantly after you film the video. So then you can copy this transcript. So then we're going to copy the transcript, and inside of ChatGPT, we're going to go back and say, this is the video transcript, and we're going to insert it. We're just going to copy and paste it, and you want to use those brackets as you can see in the prompt. And then once again, I'm going to tell it, note and acknowledge, do not respond, wait for further instructions, okay? Once you implement that, now we're going to give it the instructions for how to format the SOP. So the SOP should be formatted in step-by-step bullet points with sub-bullet points and reference the name of the process. So let's say it's cleaning the academy or launching a newsletter, okay? So the SOP should be bullet pointed in step-by-step points with sub-bullet points and reference the name of the process with step-by-step instructions. Note and acknowledge, do not respond, wait for further instructions. So again, we're just feeding it all of this information. The next prompt is going to say, begin writing the SOP with all of the provided information. And then this is exactly what it does. So you can see I prompted it right here. Begin writing the SOP with all the provided information above, and look what it does. Boom. In bullet point, sub-bullet point fashion, and sub-bullet point fashion, it will take that video that was transcribed and put it into the SOP, okay? The final thing, because now I've got that course documentation, the final step is I'm going to tell ChatGPT, now take the main bullet points and turn it into a checklist in a question format with only the high-level steps provided. And that's exactly what it's going to do. The process that I fed it for this example was how to boost a post. So now it's going to give me the checklist. Have you selected the post you wanted to boost? Have you clicked the boost post button? Are you using the correct ad account? And it's just pulling those high level steps that were in the video that it transcribed. Now I can take all of this hard work that ChatGPT did for me. Remember, the only thing I had to do was film the video. That was it, right? And it took a couple of minutes to film the video. And now I just fill out the top of the playbook, and we walk through how to do that. And I'm going to insert the Loom link from the video. And then I just copy and paste the step-by-step that it wrote out, and I put it into the course documentation. And then I'm going to do the same thing, copy and paste the checklist and put it over here. And literally now the playbook has been written. Now, should you go through and make sure it's accurate? Yes. But I will tell you, it is 99.5% of the time completely accurate. You might have to go in and maybe, delete a certain line here or there, but it's very rare that I have to do any edits to this at all. And now this is something I want you to think about this, right? If you had to sit down and actually write out every single one of these steps, I mean, that could take you 20, 30, 45 minutes, depending on how long the process is. Now, all you have to do is just film it and then put it into ChatGPT with the prompts that I gave, and you have this playbook completely built out. Now, a little bonus for you, because I did talk about a reference guide that we use. So inside of our Google Drive, we have this reference guide, and it has the playbook number. Remember, we have a reference number at the top. So in this Google spreadsheet, we put the playbook number. We put the date that the playbook was created, who created it, if it gets updated, what department it lives in, what's the playbook name, the description of the playbook, and then the link to locate it. So now if my team needs to look up a certain playbook, all they have to do is go to this reference guide and they can use the find functionality. So you can search for a specific keyword term and it'll bring them exactly to the playbook that they need to use. And they can click on the link and now it will take them directly to the playbook. So this is a really great way to organize all of your playbooks and have them in one specific area. This was a game changer for us. I think we have like a little over 300 playbooks in here. I will tell you, like I said earlier, playbooks aren't like a box you ever just get to check off and say, I'm never going to have to make another playbook again. And as you can see, my name really only is like on here twice. So it wasn't as though I had to sit down and do all of these playbooks. If you guys have team members on your team, you can have them help you. And in many cases, your team members are doing the process a lot more frequently and often than you are. So you might not even be the best person to write the playbook anymore if you already have a team. So I do suggest leveraging the team. So your action step is I'd love if you would create your first playbook using Loom and ChatGPT. Now, there are really cool softwares out there. One of them is called Trainual, but it has a cost associated with it. And in a company like mine, where we have 35 employees, we would have to pay for every single employee to have access to it. And it can start getting really expensive. There's a lot of softwares that charge you per login, right? So we wanted to figure out a more cost-effective way to host our playbooks, and we host it in our Google Drive. We have a very specific setup, and it doesn't cost us any money at all. So this is your action step. Create your first playbook using Loom and ChatGPT. I'd love to see some feedback in the comments. What are you guys thinking about this process? Let me know your thoughts. And I also do have a giveaway. This was a lead magnet I created about a year ago, but it's still completely relevant. For those of you that are using ChatGPT, I put together this 99 power prompts that has 99 ChatGPT prompts that are specific to running a martial arts school. So all of the prompts, whether it's ideation, nomenclature, difficult conversations, HR, there are just a ton of different prompts that will really help you be more efficient and buy back your time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share there. Let me see if we have any questions over here. This one process, guys, has just saved us so much money. When I first started doing playbooks before ChatGPT came onto the scene, it took a really, really long time. And then once ChatGPT came onto the scene, I mean, it's literally taking something that could potentially take an hour to 2 hours, and we're now able to get it done within 10 to 15 or 20 minutes. Miss Van Dusen says, great stuff. Thanks for the share. You bet. Absolutely. So like I said, guys, these are going to be short. They're going to be straight to the point, no fluff. And I will be going live every weekday at 11 a.m. Really appreciate everybody's time and energy. See you guys later.